The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
And hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who's got the touch. Welcome, Jacob.
Why, thank you. Let me introduce our co-host, a man who just apparently thinks he's in the wrong universe. He thinks he...
You broke the script! I was hoping you were going to actually say, I am joined by the man with the power. And I go, what power?
I was about to say it, but never mind.
Sorry.
Yeah, he has the power. Welcome, Drew.
I have the power, but this isn't He-Man.
Yeah, exactly. If He-Man actually did a really good animated movie, instead of
we already did one of his. We already did one of his.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
Another one we probably are going to have to do at some point.
I thought we did.
We have only done Secret of the Sword.
Oh yeah, we didn't do
the Christmas special.
Oh my gosh! If you had never ever seen that, whoo! Interesting movie. Let's just say that. And Skeletor in that movie is so funny.
Yes, but he's not in this one.
No, he's not.
I don't think.
Skeletor's not even in. Well,
I meant the actor.
If Oppenheimer, I don't.
Yeah, Alan Oppenheimer's not in this.
No, Oppenheimer.
That was last week.
That was last week. Yes.
I'll get you, He-Man, with my army of small puppet men.
What is?
What are you saying?
No, I was looking at the chat. What is
It says ruined.
ruined? Oh,
You're missing the R up here. R-U-I-N-E-D.
I can tell that. You're welcome, Roy.
Roy, you confused Jacob. Congratulations.
That didn't confuse me because I didn't have all the context.
Right. Well, you were busy while he was typing all that. We don't get the full word on here.
Yeah.
Either way.
Certified fresh and spoiler-free.
Spoiler-free thoughts. Fourth time watching this film, maybe fifth.
Maybe.
Is of course last time was for during season 1 of the Cellcast.
Yes.
And ironically, the more I think about it, I think this is the show where the Meanwhile at Castle Grayskull came out.
Yes, because I was actually listening to it on iTunes or like Apple, whatever the Apple thing is.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. I was listening to it, and it came up right in the middle of the episode. I was like, "What in the world?" And we're talking about Grayskull. I was like, "That's the episode. That's the episode where this came from."
I think I edited like the whole thing out to leave it separate.
Yes,
because we literally were going nowhere with that conversation. That's why. But that was still so funny.
That's true.
Yeah, that was the last time I watched it. The time before that I watched it was when we saw it in a theater. Mm-hmm. And then I watched it a couple years before that. Mm-hmm. This era of Transformers is before my time. I came in at Beast Wars.
Okay.
So I appreciate this. Don't get me wrong, but this is entirely different from what I think of as Transformers.
Fair.
It's good. Don't get me wrong, but it is definitely 80s.
Yes, it is.
In more ways than I can possibly count. But it's not, doesn't mean it make it a bad thing.
No.
And it's got a cast of thousands, it seems like.
Yes.
Based on this cast list I'm currently looking at. Mm-hmm. But yeah. What's your spoiler-free thoughts on this?
My spoiler-free thoughts, my history on Transformers the movie. Being a very small child in the 80s, or very little child in the 80s, and watching Transformers, He-Man, Thundercats, what have you, Turtles. And so this came out, and I didn't see it for a couple of years. And my parents bought it or rented it on VHS, and just absolutely loving this thing to death. And there again, this was the edited version of the film.
Yes, because the home video version took out the word that made it PG.
Yes.
Said by Spike Witwicky.
Yes, but they
AKA the character in the new films played by Shia LaBeouf.
No.
Exactly.
So I've been like, this movie is kind of, it's ingrained in my memory. I have so much nostalgia for it. And I think I bought the 20th edition, 20th anniversary. And then I've watched that over the years. Went and saw it in theaters with this dude for the 30th. And, which, cemented this podcast for going to watch this film. And then like watching it for the 30th anniversary, rewatching it again for this episode. I just absolutely adored this film. Yeah, it has flaws, but it is such a good movie.
So on that note, why don't we go ahead and jump into our spoiler-filled thoughts on the Transformers the movie?
Yes.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the film The Transformers the movie. Listener discretion is advised. The Transformers the movie was directed by Nelson Shin, who directed apparently some episodes of a television show called Toad Patrol.
Toad Patrol.
I have never heard of it. He's got a couple other director credits, but this was the only thing I recognize the name of. Maybe besides a Dennis the Menace special of all things. But I'm assuming it has nothing to do with Battletoads, but I have no idea what Toad Patrol would be otherwise. It was written by Ron Friedman, Flint Deal, Douglas Booth, and Roger Slifer, and is based on the Transformers created by Henry Orenston. What'd you find?
Apparently, it came out on October 2nd, 1999. On Teletoons in Canada, and it's September 20. Here we go. On Teletoons, which was now Cartoon Network in Canada, and in 2007 or 2002 on Toon Disney. And it looks like it was a one season. Two seasons. Two seasons.
Okay, so it's not really a long lasting thing. He directed a bunch of episodes of that.
Yeah.
Getting into the cast.
Yes.
And we're going to be on the cast for a couple minutes, folks.
Of course. This is the 80s. And
starting at the very top, Peter Cullen, who voiced Optimus Prime and Ironhide.
Didn't he voice other people too?
These are the two main ones.
Oh.
I did limit it to like main people.
Oh, okay.
Well, with most of these. Some of these it goes like I'll get down here to Frank Welker and there's a couple. But yeah. Did you know that in The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, that television show from the late 80s, he was the voice of Eeyore.
Peter Cullen. Didn't know that. Huh.
I just want you to picture Eeyore saying, "Begging for your life, Megatron. I thought you were made of sterner stuff," or something to that effect. Judd Nelson played Hot Rod and, of course, Rodimus Prime.
Yes.
And he's probably most famous for playing John Bender in The Breakfast Club.
Yes.
AKA the only actual delinquent in The Breakfast Club.
That is true.
Who was at on school, Saturday school suspension, whatever that was.
That is a movie I've seen clips of. I remember seeing it when I was very young. I don't remember a thing about it, but I remember like most of the big clips that come out. But yeah, you need to go rewatch that film. It's classic.
I fell asleep watching that film.
John Howard?
John Hughes.
John Hughes. I was close. John Hughes film.
Robert Stack was the voice of Ultra Magnus.
Yes.
However, his most famous role is Elliot Ness in The Untouchables.
Or the host of...
That's the other thing, the host of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
But he's probably... He got that role because of Elliot Ness in The Untouchables. And did you ever watch the movie Airplane?
I saw it as a kid, but I don't remember.
He's in that movie as Rex Kramer, and he's pretty much playing Elliot Ness in that.
Oh, okay. So just for a correction, I think you get it's flipped because he was first Elliot Ness, and later on in his career, he was part of Unsolved Mysteries.
That's what I said.
Okay. I might have flipped it in my own mind.
But yeah, anyway.
Yes. Anyways.
Neil Ross was the voice of Springer, Slag, Bone Crusher, and Hook. And in An American Tail, he played Honest John. Who was not honest.
At all. Go back and re-listen to that episode.
Susan Blue was the voice of RC. And in the hit Christmas special, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, she played Grandma.
Really?
And she actually has a bigger role in that movie than you think she would.
Oh, okay.
I sat through that garbage. Retro says John Howard was the director of Apollo 16 Candles.
I don't remember that film. I remember 16 Candles. Recently watched that one.
Yeah. Lionel Stander played Cup. And in the television series Heart to Heart, he played Max. I believe was their butler, basically.
Gotcha.
Frank Welker was the voice of Wheelie, Megatron, Soundwave, Frenzy, Rumble, and a Junkion.
Yes.
And in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, he was both Toka and Razor.
Yes.
John Moshida Jr. was the voice of Blur, but we probably both remember him as the announcer on the Micro Machines commercials back in the 1980s, after he was on that FedEx commercial about I can't do it that anymore. I tried.
I remember it was Blur.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I remember
he did a lot of commercials back in the day too. Dan Gilvazan played Bumblebee, and he played Colossus in The Pride of the X-Men.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I never connected those two. That's cool.
Corey Burton was the voice of Brawn, Shockwave, and Spike Witwicky, and he played Moliere in Atlantis: The Lost Empire. You know Mole?
Yes, I
You
remember.
have disturbed the dirt.
Yes, I remember. So good.
Leonard Nimoy was the voice of Galvatron, and he was, of course, Spock in Star Trek: The Original Series.
What is this Star Trek you speak of?
Well, hang on. Roger C. Carmel was the voice of Cyclonus and the Quintesson Leader. He was also in Star Trek. He played Harry Mudd.
Who's Harry Mudd?
Harry Mudd is in 2 episodes of Star Trek: The Original Series. He is a charlatan, I think is the word. He has 2 episodes, Mudd's Women and I Mudd.
Okay.
Mudd's Women, he is literally shipping ladies to minors to get them to buy it, and there's a weirdness there. And then he tries to take over a bunch of androids in I Mudd. And when they went back to Star Trek Discovery and went back to this time period, they decided Harry Mudd needed to be there too, so they cast Rainn Wilson, aka Dwight. Thank you,
Dwight. Okay.
Dwight Schrute. Sorry. Moving on. Stanley Jones was the voice of Scourge, and he was the narrator in the Little Shop of Horrors, the musical.
Okay.
Movie. Chris Latta was the voice of Starscream and Laserbeak, which is hilarious when he talks about Laserbeak being Megatron talks about Laserbeak being a better minion than Starscream.
That was perfect.
But he was Cobra Commander in G.I. Joe.
Oh yeah, you can hear it.
Arthur Burghardt was Devastator, and he played Destro in G.I. Joe.
Nice.
Don Messick was Scavenger and Gears in this. And of course, he is the original voice of none other than Scooby-Doo in Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Rare.
Jack Angel was the voice of Astro Train and Ramjet. And in Toy Story, he was the voice of the shark.
Oh, okay. That
Hey
makes
guys, I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Ed Gilbert was the voice of Blitzwing. And in Spider-Man the Animated Series, he played Dormammu.
Oh, yeah, because Dormammu actually showed up. Forgot.
Yes.
Wow. 90s. Weird, right?
Bear in mind, this is the same universe as X-Men Animated Series.
Yes.
So there's a chance. X-Men 97.
That's Spider-Man,
We might have somebody else playing Benedict Cumberbatch. Stephen Strange. Doctor Strange said, Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Minus what we understand now that the X-Men 97 isn't connected to the MCU.
Officially.
What we understand now.
Officially. We'll see.
We shall see.
Clive Revel was the voice of Kickback. And his role that he is probably most famous for is not a role you can actually see anymore. Because the company that owns, the director of, or the owner basically of these films, went and made special editions that changed things and put actors who were in later movies in this role, replacing his secretary and the voice of the Emperor in Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, he was the voice.
He was the original voice of the Emperor.
Oh, okay. Lucas!
When I saw that, I had to double check. It's like, okay, is that right? Is IMDb wrong? Did they not have Ian McDiarmid in episode 5 originally? Hal Rail was the voice of Shrapnel, and he was Deep Six in G.I. Joe. Orson Welles was the voice of Unicron, and he played Kane in Citizen Kane, the most famous role he's probably had. Regis Cordic was the quintessent judge, and in Super Friends, he played Apache Chief.
Oh.
Eric Idle was the voice of Retgar, and I chose this one just for our good friend Francisco with the Retro Rewind podcast. Too bad he's not hearing this because he had to go to the dentist. He is known for playing Sir Robin in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
You're welcome, Roy.
Norman Aiden was the voice of Kranix. And in Back to the Future, he played Lou. I don't know who Lou is.
I'm drawing a blank.
Literally, it was the only thing in his list that I recognized, at least the name of the movie.
Oh, okay.
We will probably find out later this year.
Probably.
Walker Edmiston was the voice of Inferno, and he was a thug guard in The Great Mouse Detective. Lastly, Victor Caroli was the narrator, and he was also the narrator in Transformers Titans Return. Kingdom Hearts connections. Guess how many we have.
Oh, wow. That big of a cast.
And I will say, I did mention everybody in the Kingdom Hearts connections in the cast list.
Okay. Let's go ballpark 6.
Hang on.
He has to count on people.
You were close.
Up or down?
Down.
5.
Yes.
Okay.
Starting off, we've got Leonard Nimoy, who played Galvatron in this.
Oh, gosh.
And he was Lord Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts, or 2 of the Kingdom Hearts games before, unfortunately, his passing. Frank Welker, most known in this as Megatron et al. So many others he played. He was also Experiment 226, Sparky. Oh, sorry, 221. 226 is Stitch.
Yeah. 626.
He's 66. I may have the experiment number. Either way, he played Sparky. Corey Burton, the voice of Spike Witwicky et al. And he was Yensid, Ansem the Wise, Zeus, Dale, Claude Frollo, Captain Hook, Magic Mirror, Sark, the Master Control Program, Santa Claus, Shanyu, the Peddler, the White Rabbit, and the Doorknob in Kingdom Hearts.
Good job.
He has the most roles. Greg Berger, the voice of Grimlock. He also played Eeyore. In fact, he's the original Eeyore.
Say what?
Yeah.
The original Eeyore from the original...
If I got it correct, yeah.
Huh.
Lastly, because Smash Brothers is a Kingdom Hearts game,
Like we've stated.
Paul Eating, the voice of Perceptor. As I mentioned earlier, he is Colonel Roy Campbell in Metal Gear Solid, and he reprised that role for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, technically an archive audio because he recorded his lines way back in Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Ah, okay.
So,
Cool.
that's what I've got in Kingdom Hearts connections in the cast list. What do we have in info and stuff?
All right. Info and sub. IMDb has a 7.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, a 68% score. You can't stream this movie anywhere, people. Anywhere. Be like, you can rent the stream, but you can't just stream it anywhere.
Hasbro, hurry up and fix that.
Yeah, come on. Transformers, come on. People love Transformers.
You'll make money.
Yeah, you'll make a lot of money. It's available on Apple Plus for $2.99 and Vudu for $2.99. So yeah, if you want to go rent them, that's the only two places right now you can get them. Unless I'm going to buy it off Amazon. Let's see. Production was by Sunbow Entertainment, Sunbow Production, Marvel Productions, and Toei Animation. Mm-hmm. Distributed originally by, I'm probably going to butcher this, so I apologize, De Laurentiis Entertainment. De Laurentiis. Thank you.
De Laurentiis Entertainment Group.
Thank you. De Laurentiis Entertainment
The same
Group.
people who made the 80s King Kong.
Yes. Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Now you know. Let's see. Runtime? I forgot to put the runtime down, but it's...
I don't know if it actually says it.
It probably doesn't.
Now that I'm looking.
Anyways.
You know what? I'm going to say it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It's about almost 2 hours. It's almost a 2-hour film.
Yeah.
Either way. So release date was August 8th, 1986. Box office, its estimated budget was $6 million. Its opening weekend for the United States and Canada was $1.7 million on August 10th, 1986, and it grossed only $5.8 million gross. And that's not counting I may have gotten an international release, just don't have that information. That's not including marketing and promotions and nothing. So this movie made jack crap. So, but like on top of this, G.I. Joe the movie, My Little Pony the movie.
Yeah, that was all around the same time.
All around the same time. These movies didn't do well. And then I think they were in the process of doing a Gem and the Holograms film.
Yeah, and then that got canceled.
That got canned. And then also got the Thundercats movie canned. And so it'd be like you had this one movie with a little outside of it just devastated the potential of putting out movies from the TV series for many years.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we wouldn't get any more movies until they did the direct to home video stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I know there was a bunch of stuff that Hasbro has that came out like right after that.
Yeah.
That you can tell there's a dip in quality.
Yes.
Major dip in quality.
Yes. All right. So, yeah, worldwide gross was the same as very close. It's 5.8660 million. Home release. This one gets a little tricky, so let's go through it. Film was originally released in 1987 on VHS, Baymax, and Laserdisc. Betamax, not Baymax. This is
Baymax is on Big Hero 6.
Yes.
Betamax, on the other hand.
Yes, was a different format.
Yes. I'm surprised it wasn't on CED also.
Yeah, it's not registered there. By Family Home Entertainment, which is if any of you people
FHE.
know FEG. Oh my gosh, Turtles.
I just remember watching that commercial, and you can tell the narrator may not have seen the script before he started recording, because he finally starts saying the name, and he's like not sure if he's reading it correct. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. This print of the film removed the use of profanity by the character of Spike, but retained the line from Ultra Magnus, which was so weird. Yeah. Like, okay, so here's my thing. So you cut out a human using a curse word, but then you're totally fine with
the robot saying it.
The robot saying it and all of this robotic carnage, but a human saying one curse word. Now, granted, it was a big curse word back in the 80s. And then you leave a robot saying the D word. Weird.
And I know in Hollywood, there are levels to the curses because of what it took to get on there. And apparently because the word he said was the word for excrement instead of the word to being cursed to hell.
Yes.
Actually, hell is also a curse word technically.
Yes.
In some circles.
Some circles.
Either way.
What the hairball are you saying?
Either way. Continue.
Yes. Rhino Home Entertainment released the film on VHS in 1999. This version used the UK master, which has scrolling text and narration at the beginning to replace the cast credits, and additionally closing narration, assuring viewers that Optimus Prime will return. This narration was presented
In 2 seasons. Or no, 1 season.
Yeah. No, technically, let's
Not even a whole season.
No, not even a whole season.
From my understanding, it's like 10 episodes after this.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's just say that.
Sorry.
Anyways, the narration was presented in the British theater release. The company released the film on DVD on November 7th in 2000 with a newly remastered print based on the US version and restored Spike's swear word. Following Rhino's home release to Sunbow's catalog expiring, Sony Wonder released a 2-disc 20th edition anniversary on November 7th, 2006. This release featured a brand new widescreen remaster of the film, in addition to the original full screen version. The extras included several audio commentaries, newly produced behind-the-scenes featurettes, storyboards, commercials, and an episode of Transformers Victory Scramble City Mobilization. However, it only features audio commentary. Shout Factory released a 30th anniversary edition on Blu-ray and DVD on September 13th, 2016. Shout Factory has released a 35th anniversary on a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray on August 3rd, 2021. There is no sequel. Unless you
the Bayformers movies don't actually exist.
Yeah, unless you count season 3 of Transformers. Or
Beast Wars, for that matter.
In some regards,
because it's both sequel and prequel to the original Transformers.
And then you go into the comics and different things. Yeah, so that's all I have for info and stuff.
All right, getting into the summary.
Yes.
In the far distant future of 2005, the evil Decepticons have conquered the Autobots' home planet of Cybertron. The heroic Autobots, operating from Cybertron's 2 moons, prepare a counteroffensive. Autobot leader Optimus Prime sends a shuttle to Autobot City on Earth for supplies. However, their plan is discovered by the Decepticons, who kill Ironhide, Prowl, Ratchet, Brawn, and hijack the ship. In Autobot City, Hot Rod, relaxing with Daniel Witwicky, the son of Spike Witwicky, spots the hijacked shuttle and a deadly battle breaks out. Optimus arrives with reinforcements just as the Decepticons are near victory. Optimus defeats many of them and then engages Megatron in brutal combat. You know what? I'm going to reword that. Optimus defeats many of them and engages Megatron in Mortal Kombat, leaving both mortally wounded, forcing the Decepticons to retreat and carry their wounded Decepticons as they get in Astro Train and go to space. Before dying, Optimus attempts to pass the Matrix of Leadership onto Ultra Magnus.
Thanks, Hot Rod.
Telling him that its power will light the Autobots' darkest hour. It drops from Optimus's hands, however, and is caught by Hot Rod, who then hands it to Ultra Magnus.
He's got the touch.
To conserve fuel so the Decepticons can make it to Cybertron, they jettison Thundercracker, Skywarp, Shrapnel, Kickback, Bombshell, and of course, Megatron.
I still function. What a bet.
Who got discarded by his treacherous second-in-command Starscream. Drifting into space, the wounded Decepticons are found by Unicron, a sentient planet who consumes other worlds. Unicron offers Megatron a new body in exchange for destroying the Matrix, which has the power to destroy Unicron. Megatron reluctantly agrees and is remade into Galvatron, while the corpses of the other jettisoned Decepticons are converted into his new troops, Cyclonus, Cyclonus' Armada, Scourge, and the Sweeps, before Unicron gives Galvatron a ship for him. On Cybertron, Galvatron disrupts Starscream's coronation as Decepticon leader and kills him.
This is bad comedy.
Thank you. Unicron then consumes the moons of Cybertron, including the secret bases with Autobots and Spike. Retaking command of the Decepticons, Galvatron leads his forces to seek out Ultra Magnus at the ruined Autobot city. The surviving Autobots escape in separate shuttles, which are shot down by the Decepticons and crash on different planets. Hot Rod and Cup are taken prisoners by the Quintessence, a clutch of tyrants who hold kangaroo courts and execute prisoners by feeding them to Sharkticons. Hot Rod and Cup learn of Unicron from Kranix, a lone survivor of Lithoni? Lithwan? Something? A planet devoured by Unicron.
In the very beginning.
Oh yeah, that they did say, he did say Lithoni. Sorry.
Yes.
After Kranix is executed, Hot Rod and Cup escape, aided by the Dinobots and the small Autobot Wheelie, who helps them find an escape ship. The other Autobots land on the planet of Junk, where they are attacked by the native Junkions, who then hide from Galvatron's arriving forces. Ultra Magnus secures the remaining Autobots while attempting and failing to release the power of the Matrix. He is destroyed by Galvatron, who seizes the Matrix, now intent on using it to control Unicron. The Autobots befriend the local Junkions, led by Wreck-Gar, who rebuild Magnus. They are joined by the Autobots from the planet of the Quintessence. Deducing that Galvatron has the Matrix, the Autobots and the Junkions, who have their own ship, fly to Cybertron. Galvatron attempts to threaten Unicron, but like Ultra Magnus, cannot activate the Matrix. In response to Galvatron's threats, Unicron transforms into a colossal robot and begins to dismember Cybertron. When Galvatron attacks him, Unicron swallows him in the Matrix hole. The Autobots crash their spaceship outward through the Unicron's eye and become disbanded while Unicron continues to battle Decepticons. Junkions and other defenders of Cybertron. Daniel saves his father Spike from Unicron's digestive system, and the group rescue Bumblebee, Jazz, and Cliffjumper. Galvatron attempts to form an alliance with Hot Rod, but Unicron forces him to attack. Hot Rod is almost killed, but at the last second recovers and successfully activates the Matrix, resulting in him becoming Rodimus Prime, the new Autobot leader. Rodimus tosses Galvatron into space and uses the Matrix's power to destroy Unicron, then escapes with the other Autobots. With the Decepticons in disarray from Unicron's attack, the Autobots celebrate the war's end and the retaking of their home planet while Unicron's severed head orbits Cybertron. That can't be good.
No.
Getting into the trivia. This was Orson Welles' final film before his death on October 10th, 1985.
5 days later.
At the age of 70, he recorded his lines 5 days prior on October 5th. This was also Scatman Crothers' final film before his death on November 22nd, 1986, at age 76. This film is considered the bridge between the second and third seasons of the Transformers, as several third season characters are introduced here and several first season characters are killed or altered. Director Nelson Shin and story consultant Flint Dahl then have confirmed that Orson Welles had a hard time recording his lines due to his failing health. Most of his lines included labored breathing and heavy wheezing. Shin considered most of Welles' dialogue unusable, but put the recordings through a voice synthesizer to give Welles' voice a clearer, more ominous tone. According to Shin, Unicron's on-screen voice is an enhanced, synthesized version of Welles' voice.
You can definitely tell in some cases.
This movie was produced at the same time as G.I. Joe the movie, 1987, by the same company. It had been agreed that both movies would suffer the loss of their lead heroes, Optimus Prime and Duke. Production started on G.I. Joe first, but Transformers ended up being completed and released first. Optimus Prime's death sparked a huge amount of controversy, causing the writers to change Duke's death to a coma. G.I. Joe was released direct to video. Had that movie been released first, Optimus Prime might have survived. Megatron is transformed into Galvatron. In the television seasons that followed, Frank Welker took back over the role of Galvatron. Welker had previously provided the voice, well, screams only, for Spock in Star Trek III: The Search for Spock, which Leonard Nimoy appeared in and directed. Writer Ron Friedman described himself as extremely opposed to killing off Optimus Prime, who he considered a father figure and icon. Quote, to remove Optimus Prime, to physically remove Daddy from the family, that wasn't going to work, Friedman said. I told Hasbro and their lieutenants they would have to bring him back, but they said no and had, quote unquote, great things planned. In other words, they were going to create new, more expensive toys.
Yeah, because it's literally what they were doing with this film. It was like, okay, we need to get rid of all these old toys. How do we do that? We just go the characters up. They're just characters, no problem.
They're just toys. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. They didn't realize that kids were going to lock themselves in closets and have to go see therapy for years because their favorite characters died on screen in front of them.
It's like Hasbro forgets that fans are people too, not sources of money, Hasbro.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. Hasbro's been doing a lot of stupid stuff recently too.
No, you think?
So, yeah. Shout out to our Dungeons and Dragons brethren and the people who were not a fan of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. Anyway, what's your first like for this film?
Now, my first like of this film would be the animation. Because there again, they bumped the animation so like all the fight scenes are done incredibly well. Definitely when Optimus Prime shows up with his, you got the touch scene where he transforms and rolls into Autobot City, just slagging the crap out of, out of the Decepticons and the whole bit. Amazing fight between him and Megatron until somebody interrupts the fight.
Hot Rod. Literally not. Here's the question, because I was not watching the show, obviously, back then. I wasn't even alive. I was 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Was Hot Rod a well-liked character?
He wasn't introduced until the movie.
I know, but after this.
I have no idea because I don't remember season 3.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember season 1, season 2, remember the movie, and then I remember something about season 3. That's about it.
I was just curious.
Yeah, but animation in this movie is like, if you go to like the big key scenes, like the beginning, the point where
good night, just the flyby of Unicron.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Oh my gosh, it'd be like, it's just beautiful front end. It'd be like the attack on
Kranix's planet.
Krennic's planet, be like everything leading up, be like, you get to like the second act, things kind of get a little wonky here and there. You had this amazing front end of animation, is so well done, and it kind of spirals a little bit towards the end, but but you had so much great animation because you're using it all for these big fights, these big enormous fights where a lot of characters die.
Yeah,
Hasbro. But understanding where they're coming from, they're a business, and so they're just trying to,
and besides,
move along product.
And besides, in context of the television show, and everything, they're at war, and as we all know, war never changes.
That is true. But oh my gosh, the I'll get that in my second. But this movie, like, beautifully animated, just like if you've seen G.I. Joe the movie, the opening scene of this movie is beautifully well done. It's very well written, drawn, and animated. Because there again, it was the 80s, no computer generation, it's all hand drawn.
Yeah,
which is like, I wish they could go back to that, but you understand, the cost expenses and the whole bit. And plus, you have to train the entire generation how to draw something or hand draw something.
Yeah, I was about to say, they can draw.
They can draw very well.
It's just, and most of them probably can hand draw, but hand drawing to that amount of
is a very
exactness to where it's literally the same character frame for frame and not some weird redesign.
Yeah, exactly. But this is a beautiful film, very well done. It's got animation flaws all through it, but it's very well done. I enjoyed the animation. And as a little kid, be like, it touched me. It touched my little probably 6-7-year-old soul, and it's just like, wow, this is amazing. So yeah, the animation is good. I'll get to the animation later in my dislikes, but good animation.
My first like for this film, is the fact that it does take itself seriously.
It does.
Let's face it, the concept for this show and movie are absolutely ridiculous. They make less sense than even superhero comic books in a lot of ways. There's don't get me wrong, there's thought put into it, but it takes they had the guts not just to kill Optimus Prime and all the G1, but to do it and give them all pretty decent endings to their story. Yeah, Optimus Prime gets the best one, but he's the main one, and they have to pass on the MacGuffin to Robert Stack. And so that's why he gets the big thing. Of course, he's Optimus Prime. He's the leader of the Autobots, so of course he's going to have the good death, the good death scene. But every single one of them go out defending Cybertron and Earth and being good guys. And the villains that go out like the way they should also. I mean, Starscream dies immediately after becoming the king of Cybertron by Megatron Reborn with the best lines. Says, Megatron, is that you? There's a hint. Boosh. There is not a bad death in this.
Oh, agreed. I actually counted. It'd be like Starscream was Emperor for about a minute 15.
Yeah.
And then he got disintegrated.
Which is about right. But I mean, it fits. It's like, yeah, it's sad that they did this. And obviously we know the intention was we want more toys to sell and we can't sell the old ones. So of course we're cleaning the slate because this is all just a toy commercial, right?
Exactly.
Because that's how Hasbro sees these things. But this movie, like, they went and had the guts to actually treat these characters like they were real and or serious characters, and actually give them all good deaths. If you're gonna have to kill them, at least you give them good deaths. So yeah, this movie takes itself seriously enough, even with all the goofiness in the second half. At least, especially in this first half, though, it takes itself so stinking seriously that I can't help but appreciate it. What's your second like?
Mine ties in with exactly what you're talking about. The boldness to actually kill off all these characters. Now, granted, like you said, Hasbro was just, these are products, we need to move them. And why not just send them off in a nice blaze of death in the movie? And the way they execute it, I was just looking this up on, where am I looking this up at? Screen Rant. And the one that got me, the one that always got me, how brutal and how like surreal this is, be it like Prowl's death on the shuttle. Be like, it's literally like his, like the smoke coming out of his, like everything. It's just like, it's so vicious, visceral, just characters dying on screen. Just as like, it's, or who's death? I think that's, give me a second. Ironhide's death. It's literally like, what heroic nonsense. It's just like candy, just boom. It's like, jeez. I remember watching as a kid. It's like, oh my gosh, he killed all these characters off. And then it just keeps coming and coming and coming. It's, again, they're trying to sell toys. But it's just like, jeez, this was in theaters? I think I would have had to gone to therapy for that. And I think some kids did.
And they thought it being PG, they thought they needed the curse word to make it PG.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like it'd be like, oh my gosh. It was so mind bending how like, what did I use? How bold they, had, just every character had a very interesting death, but like even characters be like, who just got dragged in by RC. It's like, oh geez, like they're killing a lot of characters off. And, it's like, it's a bold move because they wouldn't do that at all nowadays because they know better. But it was so much of a good, I'd be like, that's bold and daring as creators to do that, like understanding their motivation. But from retrospect, it's like, geez, that's good. That's good writing in a lot of ways. So yes, bravo, for Hasbro for killing off characters on screen and not, oh, they all died. How? No, we see a character blown, disintegrated by a big, massive arm cannon from Megatron.
Yeah.
Props. So yeah, that's my like. That's my second like.
My second like for this, that theme song, dude.
Oh.
Yes, it is the Transformers theme song extended.
Lion. Yeah, Lion.
By Lion. It is almost actually an entirely original song that just happens to cram in the original theme song for like 5 seconds in the middle of it. But
And so 80s music beyond.
Oh yeah, but it is such a this is a great song just to listen to in the car on your way somewhere.
Agreed.
It's just a cool, fun theme song. It's one of the better. It's okay. So there's like I can think of like 3 or 4 different movies that had the flying through space with the credits kind of flying at you thing. I think are mainly 2. This one and Superman the movie, and probably Superman 2.
Yes,
probably. And I'm sorry, as much as I like the Superman theme song with that
John Williams.
John Williams, thank you, that John Williams made. This is a whole lot better version. It's just so rocking to go through as you're flying through all these big impressive names. You're going, these people are in this movie. They're never showing up on the TV show except for the guy who played Blur. But yeah, it's just so cool, especially when you're in there and they're acting next to these people who played these other characters for years. That some they're getting rid of, some they're not. I'll talk more about some of the casting choices later on, but yeah, I just love that opening sequence, that opening theme song. It's just that's such a fun, good 80s song.
Agreed.
What's your third like?
My third like in this film would actually be Orson Welles' performance. Like the fact that like the man was
Literally on his deathbed.
Yes, literally goes in and does his film. He liked the script. And like he was actually excited about doing the film, and like everything the engineers had to do in order to salvage his performance, because he was just raspy and just like such like at one point they like he was speaking so low at this kind of stuff. They literally had to like tick up everything like 5% to actually hear him make it be like,
yeah.
They literally had to make him robotic to make him, make him, his lines heard, and to make him literally a robot. And I love this performance. And once I realized, as a kid, it's like, okay, that's an interesting voice. And then you realize, well, it's Orson Welles. Oh, he died like 5 days later after this performance. And I think he told his biographer, and it's like, yeah, remember I did that thing where I'd be like, it's like, yeah, be like, I played a robot that ate things and the yada yada.
Didn't quite remember at that point.
Didn't quite anything. Be like, thought it was weird, and it's like, yeah, this was his last performance, and it's like just the iconic performance of Orson Welles as Unicron, and definitely be like towards him, be like, it's like, I am infinity, something like that, and he blows up. But it's like, yeah, that's just such an iconic moment, iconic voice to voice a villain, and get Orson Welles to do it. And yeah, I thought it was like, wow, you got Orson Welles to do this. And it was his last performance ever. Job, kudos. Yeah, so it's Orson Welles. That's my third.
My third like for this is the comedy.
This is bad comedy,
but it's so good.
Oh, agreed.
As much as it takes itself seriously, like I said, when it makes sense to be comedic, it does it, and it does it well. There's some elements where maybe not so much, but there's a lot of them where it is actually really, really good.
Agreed.
Pretty much anything with the Dinobots is, well, it's decent. It's not great, but it's decent. I mean, all the stuff with Blur was funny to me. Of course, Starscream's death scene is perfect. It is hilarious.
Oh yeah,
and great. Oh, his coronation up to that point is great too.
Yeah,
where they keep playing these horns that's interrupting him getting the crown.
He just destroys the horns.
And even the part before that where he's where they're letting out the dead weight so the Astrotrain can make it back to Cybertron.
It pays me to do this.
Yeah, I was like, oh, y'all had a fun time doing this.
Oh yeah,
in there, I can tell.
So I wanted to chime in when you said about the Dinobots. So in the original Dinobots, be like, Grimlock was played more like serious in season 2, but like he wasn't really a comedic character.
Yeah.
In the movie, they made him more comedic and a little less intelligent. And so moving forward, he was always, a bit more comedic and a little less intelligent. But in season 2, when he met up, it's like, yeah, he didn't mess with Dinobot.
You still don't mess with him.
No, exactly. But
he have fun.
yes, he has fun. Anyways, continue.
Me, Grimlock, love hearing Cup stories. Tell me about the whatever the thing was.
Yeah, whatever that is.
The Petrolean aliens or whatever. The Petrolians. That's what they called them. The Petrolians.
Petrolians, go figure.
It's like,
It was
okay,
the
so
80s, people.
those are gas powered. Then I take it.
Yes. Not electrically powered.
Well, energetically powered.
Energetically powered.
But yeah,
Still kind of a gasoline fuel.
so yeah, the comedy in this is definitely my third like. It's just there's by the time you get to Optimus's death, the movie is so down at that point. That the rest of it being kind of you're coming back up like the rest of the film, to the fun level. So the point where you finally get that fight against Unicron, you have no idea if our characters are going to win going into this because it's a big freaking robot. And they're so small that they crash into his eye, and they're having to run around inside him. And Hot Rod, of course, gets lost again.
Of course,
more opinions on Hot Rod in a minute. But yeah, it's just even in those moments, it's like when they have a good point for comedy, they do, and I appreciate that.
Agreed.
So, what's your first dislike?
My first dislike is. There again, I love the animation, but there's so many errors in this movie, like so many animation errors. But like I think Drew said at one point during our last review, if you want to go back and listen to that from season 1, go ahead.
Yeah, that's actually by that point our audio quality was normal.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little fuzzy here and there, but it's I would take that back. Be like our audio. I think our audio is so much better than it was.
It is now. At the time, that was when it stabilized.
Yeah, it did stabilize.
Do we? Because at that point, I had switched to Old Bessie.
Yes, that is true.
And having that same setup over and over again, because I almost never disconnected anything, even though I was moving everything over to your apartment.
Yes,
it just kind of stayed regular. Now it doesn't even move.
That is true.
Anyway,
but so I remember because I was re-listening to the episode to do this review, which is listening to your own self 5 years ago. It's weird. So you mentioned at one point, I remember too, because in the 20th anniversary, there's actually a frame that's out of sync at one point.
Yeah,
and there's so many animation errors for this.
It's like that thing. It's like that in the 35th also.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's just part of the film.
Yeah, that's true.
It was messed up when they did it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's not like the Swan Princess where the frame literally drops out of frame.
Yeah, no,
and you see the light board.
This is like they threw in an extra frame where it wasn't supposed to be, and it's during the Sharkticons.
Oh,
it's during the attack of the Sharkticons. Yeah. Or when Cup and Hot Rod are getting attacked by the Sharkticons.
Yes.
Right before the blender scene.
Ah. So the scene I think of also is the scene where Spike's son, what's his name? Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel's
I wanted to say Brandon, but that's not it.
No. Daniel's trying to close the hatch on the incinerator, let's just call it. Or whatever, the lava, whatever it's called.
Yes.
Because you see all these Autobots.
The digestive juices.
There we go. That's just be like you see these Autobots come across the railing, and like they're supposed to fall in, but they just disappear. Yeah, completely. Like you see frame, boop, disappear. Frame, disappear. Mm-hmm. It's like, what happened? Because you get this great shot where one of them actually falls in, and you just see them melt. I'm like, that's frightening, but amazing. But 8 frames before that, character comes up, disappears. And like there again, when they're in Unicron's head, in his body, oh my gosh, so many little errors everywhere. Now, Graham, it's hand-drawn animation. You're gonna make errors.
Yeah, and it's classic cell camera techniques too.
Yeah, exactly.
So some physical person had to load each one of those pictures into the camera And it's possible, it's very easy
Oh, yeah.
for them to put the wrong one in, have it upside down. You know, you know how it is when you're getting in a hurry on stuff.
Yeah, been there.
Crap happens.
Been there. But yeah, it's just like you have your classic animation errors throughout this entire film. And I think it's what makes it a classic, because like there again, things aren't perfect and they're gonna have errors and flaws, and
It does kind of show there was not a lot of QA on this.
no, there wasn't. Like even modern 2024 films are gonna have animation errors.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just continues that line of be like humans creating things.
It's not going to be perfect.
No, even AI, when they do things, it's so messed up. But yeah, just the animation errors I thought was very unique. What's your first dislike?
My first dislike for this film, and I know this was just a thing they felt they always had to do, but the Witwickies. I know Spike was in the first 2 seasons.
Yes.
You got Daniel here, and it makes sense that, you know, you have a new crew, you have a new human. If you're, because that's just what they did at the time, to give the kids somebody that they can relate to. I understand that's the point. The problem is, I don't think I ever needed kids in these shows when I was growing up. And the kid here is more annoying to me than anything else. I mean, he's no, Portho, is it Portho in He-Man? Ortho? Orko, sorry. Orko, I think, was a better character than this kid. This kid was. Granted, he does have a lot of good chemistry with Hot Rod, and so that would be good going forward. But at the same time, I'm watching this kid learning how to use his father's exosuit for the first time and going, it can't be that hard to figure that out if it's off thoughts. You know, and granted, I'm not doing it, so how do I know?
Yeah.
But it's like, this is not an important scene, guys. I don't need to see him struggle with this. You could have him jump in the thing and drive off if you want to, and I will not care. You could have left him on Earth. Please, have left him on Earth. Autobot City is not the only human city on Earth in 2005, even in this continuity, I bet you. But I digress. I just don't like the use of the kid.
I gotcha.
So yeah, and I know that's just a thing from this time period.
Fair.
That's what they did in all these shows. And it's not like other Transformers shows didn't have the kid for people to relate to.
Yeah.
Bear in mind,
That's every
I
show then.
started with Beast Wars. There were no humans in Beast Wars. They hadn't evolved yet. But yeah. Spike, not Spike, but Daniel Witwicky is my dislike for this. And it has nothing to do with his father's eventual recasting. No.
My second dislike in this film is the weak second half of this film, because once the Autobots, they separate, they crash land into planets. Like, yes, you get little bits of information here and there, but to me, it's more like, okay, let's pad the time of this film. Let's have our characters separate because it makes it interesting. But Cup and Hot Rod land on this planet, literally nothing happens. Be like, yeah, you find
they do find out about Unicron.
They do find out about Unicron. I agree. Be like, yeah, they could. It's interesting, but at the same time, there's so much, just a little bit of, we're trying to fill time with a story here. And it'd be like, that's basically all my little gripe about it. It seems like the second act, it's just more padding for the film. It's like, yeah, you learn a little bit here and there, but you learned a different way. And, oh heck, they could have learned, anyways, I'm not a writer, nor I'm an artist, but it's like, yeah, the second act seems a little bit weak here and there, like definitely story wise, and it's a little clunky here and there. The third act is it's a little bit better, but yeah, this movie kind of suffers with a second act, third act, kind of a little bit of wibbly wobbly here and there, but it's like, it's okay. It's just you see that as a reviewer, and it's just like, okay. So it's my second dislike.
My second dislike on this, You're going to be a little surprised by this.
Really?
So we've got a lot of music in this
Yeah.
movie, a lot of licensed music.
Yes.
Only like one song was written specifically for this one.
Yes.
Outside of, the compositions.
Yeah.
But, I mean, lyrical songs, only one was written, and that was the Transformers theme, our movie theme. The touch, for the most part, perfect. Enjoy it. It's great for this film.
Question. What was the song? What was the touch originally? Movie
I don't know.
Cobra. It was from a movie called Cobra by Sylvester Stallone.
Oh,
Never made the film, and they put it in Transformers.
there you go. So yeah, that's a good song. A couple of the other songs, not quite so memorable, but they fill like the time. The only one that really does not fit where they put it is the one where Cup and Hot Rod are waking up underwater in that scene, and it's like, y'all could turn this music down. It really doesn't fit this scene.
Agreed.
But that's not really the one that really bugs me the most.
Okay.
And like I said, you're going to be surprised. Dare to be stupid.
That's what I thought. But it's just shocking because you love.
I like Weird Al. The song is good. Do not get me wrong. And it kind of fits with the Junkions because they're kind of stupid characters. But at the same time, the lyrics do not fit here
No.
at all. Every other song in this, I mean, it kind of works, but you look at Weird Al's lyrics, they were not meant to be serious lyrics. They're talking about, the stupid things that we would do. And it kind of, actually, I will say, it does kind of fit with what the Junkions are doing since they're talking television. And a lot of the Dare to Be Stupid song is made up of like sayings from commercials. Like, you better squeeze all the Charmin you can when Mr. Whipple's not around, referring to the old Charmin commercials where people were squeezing the toilet paper, and Mr. Whipple would come up and say, please don't squeeze the Charmin. Yeah, that was the thing, folks. So that's one of the lines in there, and a lot of and the other things in there are like that, but it kind of works, it kind of doesn't, and it stands out.
Fair.
It's not while things like the touch stand out and the Transformers theme, of course, stand out. Those make sense why they do. They stand out because they're good songs.
Yes.
And they're very well edited into this film. And Dare to Be Stupid is not necessarily a bad song, and it does kind of make sense, but also this is not the kind of movie a Weird Al song really should be appearing in.
Fair.
I guess is really what it comes down to. It works and it doesn't work, and I think it just stands out and badly for me in this. So.
Fair.
What's your third dislike?
There again, this is a nitpick. Like talking nitpick, because I think we even mentioned in our previous review of this movie. Logic be darned.
No,
in this
yes.
movie. So the scene in question is when the Decepticons attack the shuttle going to Earth, they're in space, blow a hole inside the shuttle, and knowing physics and knowing there's no gravity in space. But you talk about
Actually, there is gravity, but not the kind, not what you're thinking.
yeah, not the kind of
It's not.
It's zero
It's not
gravity.
it's not like dropping in. There is gravity and it's holding everything together, but relative to what we're used to, it is weak.
yeah. Agree. So
And anyway, sorry.
yeah. So if you were taking logic and what did I have? I just physics into example. Be like, they blew a hole inside this shuttle. Everybody should have been sucked out of that shuttle. They weren't. It's cartoon logic. But I mean, like, there's different scenes here and there where a character, it's like, how in the world can these characters fly in, car mode and this and this and this, and be like, there again, it's cartoon logic. Be like, you have to go with it. But at the same time, it's like, these characters should have been sucked out of that shuttle instead of everybody just standing still. They're not wearing gravity boots or nothing. But there again, it's a cartoon.
How do you know there's not magnets in their feet?
Who knows their metal? I don't.
But at the same time, I could rationalize that all the way. It's like, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of stuff in here you really can't rationalize. I still want to know where Optimus Prime's trailer goes when he transforms.
Yeah, they're serious of that.
He goes into zero space. That's where it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hammer space. Anyway.
Can't truck this. Anyways, so yeah, just like the little illogical things that happen throughout the film. There again, you just chalk it up the cartoon logic or animation logic, and it's a cartoon character. It can do anything, right?
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with like it's these really big subject matters and like all these characters' deaths and be like just logic goes out the window, kind of moments, and it's like okay, weird, okay. They're just like, what's yours?
My third dislike for this, what's the point of the Sharktons? What's the point of that kangaroo court? What's going on in that entire scene? I mean, you're sitting there going,
Introducing characters.
Has the magistrate reached a verdict? We have. Guilty or innocent? Innocent. Pew! It's like, what happens if they're guilty? Do you let them go? Or do you drop them in the Sharkticon tank too? What's going on? Weird squid Cthulhu-esque robot hybrid?
True.
That's the other thing. There are a grand total in this film 3 non-fully robotic characters. Spike, Daniel, and Weird Octopus Dude. Cthulhu Cyborg Dude. Whatever his name is. The quintessent judge. No, that's the judge. The other dude. Either way.
Yeah.
What the crap? I understand you want aliens. But why the cyborg octopus? And why is he the only other semi-biological life form in this film? Even the fish in this movie,
Well, robotic.
Not the ones on Earth, but the fish on that planet with the Sharkticons, are robotic. It's like, Dr. Robotnik, did you go a bit crazy here?
Like always.
That's what it is. The quintessent planet is actually the planet Mobius, where Sonic failed to defeat Dr. Robotnik.
Funny point. So,
That is my fan theory.
So the quintessence in the original show, going into season 3, in the original canon, quintessence were the ones who created the Autobots and the Decepticons.
Okay, then. At least it made sense that somebody made them.
Yeah.
But still, what is going on? That scene makes no sense. And of course, this is the one with the obvious animation flaw in it. I mean, the obvious animation flaw. Where, like, it's the only reason I didn't see it on my version, because here's a fun fact. I did watch the 4K ultra high definition, or I tried.
Tell me this.
I tried.
Yes.
And it's not that the thing was bad, but I'm convinced that the 4K Blu-ray player I have, something's wrong with it, or it just couldn't stand when there's like too much changing on screen at one time. I don't know what, but it's like I had to stop the film, take out the 4K Blu-ray, put in the regular Blu-ray, which was the TV version, and watch that version to finish the movie. And that's just kind of annoying. But yeah, I guess what it comes down to is the weird cartoon logic. It had to have inherited somewhat from the show. And remind me, this is technically based on a Japanese toy.
Yes.
Originally.
Yeah, Takara.
That they readapted.
Yeah. And then they adapted and
they bought the toys off of Japan, off the Japanese company, and redid everything.
Yes.
And then had Toei animate it. But yeah, that's my third dislike for this, is the weird logic it inherited from its source material. You were, since you went back and listened to the show, to our original episode,
Yes.
have our scores that we originally rated this.
Yes.
Do we want to say them now or wait till after we have actually rated this again?
Let's wait until after.
Okay, what are you rating the film then?
I want to hear yours first.
I'm giving this film an 8. It's just a fun film to
Fair.
watch. As much as I complain about these other little weird things, I don't care about it in the midst of watching it, because it's like, this is just a fun movie that makes me feel like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, agreed.
It doesn't have to be perfect. We can have just fun movies.
Yeah.
And this is still far, far, far better than any of the Bayformer films.
You're not kidding.
What are you rating it?
I'm actually going to give it a 9. Because they're gonna, like I said in the first review, like actually going back and hearing yourself is a little bit weird. So the nostalgia is so ingrained in me from my childhood, and like the story is clunky. The animation's clunky here or there, but it's such a fun ride. Like you said, the inner child in you comes out. You're just sitting there just eating popcorn or candy or like a bowl of cereal, drinking on a Fanta or something like that. I can't
With a
think.
bowl of cereal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Just something came up. I don't know. Stuff you did as a kid, right?
You snuck orange soda to eat with breakfast because you were probably out of orange juice.
Yeah. Or Coca-Cola might be his.
No. I would have had orange soda because it's morning.
That's true. That's true. Anyways, so it'd be like it draws you
If we
back.
had any.
Yeah, it draws you back into your childhood, and now, granted, be like people that like younger people I know would be like, I have no idea what this is. Well, go give it a shot. Go enjoy something that was there before you're a child, before you were born, and I got to tell you a story later, but we'll get that later. So this was a fun ride. I'm giving it a 9. Now going back?
I have no idea what I rated this.
Yeah,
I know it's in like in the upper half because.
Yes. But what do you think it was?
I'm gonna guess I had it the same 8.5.
Nope. You gave it a 7.
Oh, okay.
I gave it a 7.
I can actually see this because I had the theory at that time, and I kind of still do, that there's nothing. A 7 is not a bad film. It's just it's an okay film. It's good. It's decent.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a 7 film.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, but I'm apparently, after having seen so many other things, I'm apparently more of a softie now and give it an 8.5.
Yeah.
I've seen the bad. I've seen
Bad movie month?
I've seen Leo the Lion. I know how bad it can get. This is gold in comparison.
You're not kidding. Yeah, I gave it a 7 as well. Kind of pointing out the little nitpicks here and there, but be like, if you just let the movie go and just let the visuals just flow over you and just have fun with it. Now, granted, if you have more contextual contact with the original show, be like, it's gonna be a little more enjoyable and maybe a little more heartbreaking for like me as when I was a kid. Because oh my gosh, Optimus' death was like, oh my gosh, they killed him. Or the one like Hot Rod, not Hot Rod, but Ironhide's death, and all these other characters. And it's like, oh my god, it's ripped my little heart out. But as an adult, it's just like, wow, that's incredible. So yeah, mine went from a 7 to a 9. It actually went up. So I can't wait for our next rewind, whatever that is.
That's Anastasia.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's the first film we disagreed on.
Oh, yes. So, what is the next film we're reviewing?
Next film we are reviewing is a little movie from last year.
Yes.
The Super Mario Brothers movie.
Let's go.
And literally, this got put on the list. Like, it was like the first thing I put on the list back when I was still. This movie was on the list for this year before we had Christmas figured out.
Yes.
Give you an idea as how long this one's been on the list.
Yes.
It was like the earliest I could get it on at the time. So yeah, we are doing the Super Mario Brothers movie next week. Join us for that. But in the meantime,
So I want to tell our audience something really quick. So we have that movie. We have another film coming up. So 3 weeks from now, let's say we're going to do something a little controversial, a little bit different.
and we may even have a guest on that
We
one.
may have this one. So stay tuned because it's one of these films that you can't find anywhere.
This was a film we decided year one. Actually, pre-Frozen. This is how long ago we've talked about this.
Yes.
A movie we would need to do because, and I quote, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Yes.
No matter how much Disney wants to
You forget
whitewash it.
just blacklist it. So if you're not getting the hints what we're playing,
Yeah.
be like, just comment in the section down below wherever.
Keep an eye out for a future
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
all we're saying.
Yeah, because be like, this is gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah.
There again, I never saw the film.
Let's just say March is going to be a little dramatic between what we're doing to ourselves and what we'll watch literally the next week after that.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
Yes.
I don't know about A Cat in Paris.
Oh
but
my gosh.
Super Mario Brothers movie might be
that's gonna be boom, then boom.
Super Mario Brothers movie might be the happiest thing we'll review for a month.
I didn't think about that. Oh crap, this is gonna be interesting. So,
But anyway, join us
Orange
next
Cinema.
week. Join us in the coming weeks for that. In the meantime, join us on the other side of these bumpers, and we will get to talking about what we've been watching, the news, and emotional damage.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest checking out Stunning and Brave. Each week, hosts Chris Cowan and Nate Henderson confess their privilege, spotlighting stunning social media posts and fabricate outrage, all while keeping you super woke and enlightened. They will make you laugh. That's right. You have no choice. Check out Stunning and Brave at stunningandbrave.net. The Soulcast would also like to thank the following patrons: Ashley and Francisco Ruiz, thanks Roy, Book of Gaming, PaulJPowers.com, and Edwin Gonzalez. If you would like to donate to us on Patreon, you can get some special art from Jacob, uncut episodes, early releases of our thoughts on X-Men 97 here in the next couple weeks. Plus, for $10, you can make us watch something within reason.
yeah, within reason.
So, yeah, go to Patreon and donate there for any of those perks.
Or go buy merch.
We have merch?
Yes, we have merch.
I say that because while the Redbubble link store is in the is in our show notes, I don't think anyone's ever bought anything.
But we got to promote it
We
anyway
do need to be promoting it more often.
and make more stuff.
Yeah, right now we have a logo shirt.
Yes.
But that's,
So if you want to go buy a logo shirt,
go buy a logo shirt, please.
or a sticker or whatever.
Just give us money. We like money. Anyway, Jacob, I have a question for you.
What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? So,
Let's start with the big one.
no, let's not start with the big one.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll hold the big one till after mine.
Yes, thank you. So, I watched a few documentaries this week. I watched one that it was on my Netflix feed. I was like, "Ooh, that sounds interesting." It's the Greatest Night of Pop. It's on Netflix. It is the creation of the song "We Are the World" that came out in the 1980s, and it's a documentary on how this song came about. Because if you don't know, because this was 1986, I believe, same year as our feature film came out. There was a famine going on in Africa, and there was a lot of people who were concerned about it, didn't know what to do about it. So you had the great late Quincy Jones, who was a producer back in the day. who was the producer of Michael Jackson and the whole bit. Granted, this was the 80s, people. So, like him, Michael Jackson, and a bunch of other people were trying to figure out what they could do, and they started be like, we need to get these people and these people and these people. So for one night after the AMAs, the American Music Awards, came out, Lionel Richie was also involved. If you don't know who Lionel Richie is, go look his music up. He's pretty good. So they, Jackson, Lionel, and I think it was one other person wrote "We Are the World," and then got all this big talent from like who were a part of the AMAs at that night to come over to a studio at 10 o'clock at night to record and rehearse this song, because they recorded it in one night. This is the 2000s, people. This is 1980s, where everything had to be laid down on tape. And you couldn't record it from remotely. This isn't, pandemic era. You had to be in a studio. And this is a bunch of the big stars from the 1980s where you have all these big egos. Prince was, the artist, Prince.
Formerly known as Prince.
Yeah. At the time he was Prince. Was supposed to show up. He never did. I don't know. Maybe some rival Michael Jackson. I don't know. There was one point where they're trying to figure out the song, and then I can't remember. But you had Grace, Willie Nelson was there, and Kenny Rogers, and at one point, I can't remember his name, but you had a guy a big country artist. I can't remember his name. I'll think of it in a second. But he actually leaves in the middle of the rehearsal because but whoever. But all of these are great moments you have where Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles they're talking and they're like, hey man, I've got to go to the bathroom. So literally, I think it's Ray Charles leads Stevie Wonder out of the room. It was great. It was so good. They literally did everything from 10:30 at night to about 5-6 o'clock in the morning. This all done in one night. I thought it was brilliant, but it was just what in the world? Because there's one scene where it's Stacey Lawler. I can't remember because I never listened to her music.
Cyndi Lauper.
Thank you. Cyndi Lauper, big name in the 80s. So apparently they're doing their separate solo recordings for the song. And everybody's getting it. And there's points where people are a little intoxicated here and there. So Cyndi Lauper, she goes into her big thing. And it's this whole thing because they keep hearing all these different sounds. It sounds like people are laughing. So it's she's getting upset. People are getting upset. They're like, wait a minute, it's your jewelry. Take all these bangles off. Because every time she would move, it would jingle and it would sound like people laughing. So it was great. I thought it was a great time. I was like, So definitely go watch that if you want to find out more about this really big hit song that came out in the 80s. So another one I started watching post-show. I watched it before, but it's good. Attack on Pearl Harbor, Moment by Moment. It's on Netflix. So yeah, go that because knowing history is half the battle. And if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Right.
So we watched something later.
Hang on, we'll get to that.
I know. I'm going to let you go into yours. What have you watched besides what we watched in theaters?
Right. I have finally finished season 1 of Star Trek: The Original Series.
Really?
Yeah, and I will say there is 1 or 2 episodes in here I don't think I ever saw.
Really?
So I can now say for certain I have finished the first season of Star Trek: The Original Series. Yeah, so the last episode I watched today, was Operation Annihilate.
Operation Annihilate?
Yes. It's one of only 2 episodes in all of Star Trek that has an exclamation mark in it. The other one being a Voyager episode called Bride of Chaotica, which is literally a send-up to old, Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon style sci-fi shows. Gotcha. But this one, Kirk and the ship is heading to this planet and that they have noted that there is a series of planets in a row that the civilizations on these planets went horribly insane and then disappeared. And the last one was 2 years ago, and the next one that's probably coming up is a Federation colony. And living on said Federation colony is one Samuel Kirk. Jim's brother.
Oh, okay.
Now, here's the fun part of this. We don't ever actually get to see Sam Kirk have an acting role because he's dead by the time we get there. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
But they needed someone to play his dead body.
Okay.
Do you know what they did?
Did they?
William Shatner played his brother, but they put a mustache on him. And I'm looking at going, oh, that's painfully obvious that's what that is. That's Shatner
With a mustache.
with a fake mustache.
Wow.
It's actually a spooky episode. As goofy as I'm talking about, it's almost like an Invasion of the Body Snatcher story,
Really?
but not. Well, I don't want to say not goofy because this is still original series Star Trek. There is just an inherent level of the goofiness there, but it's literally like a horror episode.
Really?
Because what happens is these it's like Alien, actually, to some degree. These parasites will attach themselves to you with a stinger, and if they do, their DNA, because it's actually one big one cell organism, their DNA will interject itself into you and wrap itself around your nervous system and rack you with pain until you do what it tells you to do.
Ow.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Talk about horror. And that's why it drives everyone insane, because they're literally racked with pain for like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Wow.
That drives anyone insane.
Yeah.
Also, it's one of the few times we actually got a curse word in the original series.
Really?
Yeah.
In the freaking 60s?
Yes.
What did it start with?
McCoy states that blankety blank Vulcan logic.
Oh, okay.
Obviously not blankety blank, but
Yes.
you can kind of make the connection.
It's Bones. What do you expect he's going to say?
This is one of those few instances where Bones lets the mask slip in his irritation of Spock. You know, it's just barely there to begin with, but he will not show it around Spock himself because that doesn't work.
No.
And I don't want to give anything away because this is actually a good episode, but there is a point at the end of the episode where not the writers or the people who made it, but the characters made a pretty bad mistake that was going to result in like a change in continuity.
Really?
If they had decided to let it stick. And when that, well, I don't want to give it away, but let's just say Spock has a great line when McCoy, because it does deal with Spock, but McCoy says something to the effect of, please do not tell him that I said that he was the best first officer in the fleet. And Spock turns around and says, why, thank you, Doctor. I appreciate the compliment, or something to that effect. And Kirk turns around and says, you were so worried about his Vulcan eyes, you forgot about his Vulcan ears.
Darn it, Jim.
It's a great episode. It's a good one to go out on. It's still scary as all get out, but it's a good sci-fi horror thing.
Gotcha.
In a 60s show that's obviously being filmed in California at a park or at a college campus.
Yes.
UCLA to be specific.
Really?
Yeah. So I watched that. I watched a couple episodes of some anime. One called The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic.
Isekai?
Yeah, actually it is the isekai. You can tell because of the long name. But this kid has healing magic when he comes to this world, and instead of his friends who got pampered, who only had like lightning magic and whatever the other one was, I don't remember, or light magic. One had lightning, the other had light. Our character has healing. His friends got pampered pretty much.
Yeah.
Trained, obviously, to fight.
Yeah.
And use their magic because they all got to go fight the Dark Lord at some time. our hero gets put through basic training, basically.
Ah.
No, actually, let's be more specific. Do you remember how Piccolo trained Gohan at the age of 4?
Oh, yeah,
Dragon
brutally.
Ball Z.
Brutally, yes.
Same methods.
Oh, crap.
And to some degree, this kid gets a bit of Stockholm syndrome in a way, because he starts liking the people who are pretty much doing this to him.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they have his best. They have his best, will at heart. What's the word? I'm looking for?
Intentions?
Best intentions. They literally know they have to do this if he's going to survive, because he's got healing magic. Mm-hmm. The way what they're calling the wrong way to use healing magic is not necessarily the wrong way. It's just not what most people will do. They train him to work his body so hard that he naturally heals himself and then keeps going.
Oh.
Literally, the Saiyan training. Whatever doesn't kill you
makes you
stronger.
Wow.
I was sitting there watching going, you have some reading material to do. When a Saiyan gets killed, nearly gets killed, they come out at twice their power level. That's just bloody. That's just bloody chicky. Right in the dang kisser. I don't remember the whole line. Dragon Ball Z abridged, folks. Anyway, I watched some of that. And of course the movie for tonight, and the Evangelion that we're going to talk about here in a minute.
Yes, the emotional damage.
Yes, and then me and you Wednesday drove into Tyler to watch a film that we never expected to get to see in a theater.
Exactly. We've already reviewed
it. You could say we dilly-dally shilly-shallied.
Yeah, just a little bit.
We got to go watch Final Fantasy VII Advent Children complete in theaters Wednesday night. We saw the English dub with all the quirks that it has.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
The weird part about watching that is, tell me. I know we talked about it.
Yes.
It's weird how even you can tell when you're listening to the original English dub versus the new stuff, because there's a quality difference there too.
Just a little.
There's a quality difference in the rendering because the technology changed in the 4 years between when they originally made the film and when they made the new scenes.
Yes.
But at the same time, all the weirdness in the writing. And granted, the complete version fixes a lot of the original movie's weirdness with the writing. It's all worth it once you get to the kids at the monument. From that point of the film down to, I will never be a memory. That whole hour is one big Dragon Ball Z fight, basically. Except we got all the cast members from Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
You got them fighting Bahamut Sin. That's the name of the monster.
Okay.
You got them, and that's a great fight. You've got them chasing our 3 villains in a motorcycle chase through right out of the game.
Yeah.
They fight in Midgar against our main, our against Kadaj, our quote unquote main villain.
Yes.
Only for him to have his reunion. I bet you're dying to watch. Good to see you, Cloud. It's like
That was so good.
And the thing is, I did some reading before this, because even when we reviewed this, certain methods of our review process have even changed since season 2.
Yeah.
And I did some reviewing I'm fairly certain I didn't know about before. Yeah, the animation for this, and of course the team is all Square Enix, but the animation team is Square Enix's cutscene team.
Yeah.
Which they're very good at making cutscenes for video games.
Yeah.
Especially at this time. But you're watching this, and once you recognize that this team is, that's where this team's primary experience in making videos is, boy, can you tell? Because scenes just start like mid-sentence. Not mid-sentence, but mid-thought.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, we're on this scene now. Or we're on this thing. It's like, but it's like that you got great block. I especially love the scene where Reno and Rude are standing. This is in the original movie too.
Yes.
But they're on there waiting for Cloud and the 3 to pass them, and they're just sitting there talking. He's like, so this bomb, it's gonna blow up real nice. As best of Shinra material. Oh, so you made it. It's good, nice and shiny. You'll love it. Reno and Rude are actually the brightest spots in the film.
Oh, yeah, you're not kidding.
If we re-reviewed this film, they would be very big, they'd be first likes, like Reno and Rude, because
Agreed.
they have no reason to even be interesting characters in this, and yet they steal the show.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm kind of going off on that. We did actually see some
Behind
the scenes for the movie, previews for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And it's at this point, for those of you listening live, you should know that tomorrow morning I'm going to be streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, the DLC starring Yuffie, that I haven't played yet. And I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. In fact, tomorrow morning is starting off Saturday morning cartoons, basically.
Nice.
For Cellcast Saturday morning, or I don't have a name for it yet. Selter Day? No.
Seltzer Day?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of cool names that is not Sattercade Adventures, because that's Retro's name.
Yes.
For that block. But basically, I'm stealing his block since he's now using it for game testing. Yeah. So, yeah. And then probably Rebirth right after that. So
nice. So
I will be posting links in the Discords and such, so keep an eye out for that.
So Drew will be streaming all day.
No. 4 hours.
4 hours.
8 to noon.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Okay. So we just in that, because I know we did a playthrough of Final Fantasy
Remake. Yes.
Remake. The first half.
And most of that, I think, is still available. Some of that did get lost in the ether, unfortunately. But
it happens.
But yeah, those clips do pop up when we get shout outs every once in a while over at Retro Rewind Podcast or Geek Devotions.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So we might be like Drew plays while I make commentary about things that it's like, oh, that's cool. What in the world's going on here?
Yeah, if Jacob can make it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it whether Jacob's here or not. If he's here, great. We'll have conversations while things are going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Jacob may not know what's going on because he missed.
Drew will happily explain it.
He missed three chapters while I was going through it.
True.
Because it's only like a 40-hour game. Yeah. But
it happens.
Either way, join us for that coming up. What do we got in the news?
The Cellcast News with your host Jacob Heron.
Something you want to say.
Why think you deal it? And we have the news is nothing. I couldn't find a thing.
Really?
I was drawing a complete, utterly blank.
Really? This week you came up with nothing.
Apparently I missed something. So what did I miss?
Something big.
What did I miss?
Some huge news involving a certain mouse company.
Oh yeah, the merger.
It's not a merger.
I thought it was a merger.
No. Let me start.
Yeah, let's rewind.
First off, Disney Movie Club is dying.
It's right.
Going away after 30 years of being in existence.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people who are on it, to my understanding, kind of saw this coming because there hadn't been any new releases come out on the thing in like a couple months.
Yeah.
So shame there. But more than likely, the reason that the Disney Movie Club is going away is because Disney is outsourcing all of their home video production
to Sony. It's weird.
This is the realm of weird that we are in right now, but that does mean a couple interesting things. That means Spider-Man movies can probably be introduced with Marvel as a box set if they ever decided to.
Mm-hmm.
This means for the first time, at least in the distribution arm of things, since Jim Henson sold the Muppets to Disney, all the Muppet movies will at least be made in the same factory.
That's true. And Drew's happy about that.
I would like to see a collection of every movie on Blu-ray, please.
And he'll buy it.
I will buy it.
And then he'll force me to watch all of them.
Dude, you only have to watch 1, 2, 3 more movies of the Muppets.
Fine.
And you've already seen one of them.
Yes.
4 movies.
4.
I'm sorry.
4.
I forgot the one I know we're going to get Dallas for because I don't know why he wouldn't be on that one for us. This is his favorite.
Which one is that?
Space. Muppets from Space.
The one I really enjoyed of the Muppets was Treasure Island.
That is the next Muppet movie that we are doing
That's good.
when we get to it.
Yes, when we get there.
But yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
that's a couple things. I mean, Sony has Star Wars basically now, or at least they're going to get a cut of it for at least for the distribution. All 11 movies. I think Warner Brothers still technically owns the home video rights for the Clone Wars and that movie.
Yep. I think so.
Could be wrong. Don't quote me. But actually, I could very much be wrong because no, they haven't released another version of that since it went to Disney Plus, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Is like Disney is apparently they're still willing to sell home video. They just don't want. They're just trying to get as much of their skin out of that game as possible.
Yeah.
And still get money off of it. So, and apparently Sony's willing to do the work, which makes me wonder what kind of deal must they have met with Sony.
Spider-Man?
Well, Spider-Man, yes, because we know the Spider-Man stuff has been coming to Disney Plus, but it does make me wonder if they made some other deal to get like the Sony stuff maybe on Disney or Hulu.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm guessing here. Of course, Hulu's eventually going away. But either way,
Really?
yeah, that was kind of semi-announced a couple months ago.
Didn't know that.
Eventually, they're merging the two.
Oh, so they're gonna have Die Hard on Disney Plus.
Deadpool 1 and 2 are on there. Daredevil, the Netflix Daredevil movies shows on there.
True.
It's not like it's it would be too out of the
That's true.
strangeness, whatever the word is they're looking for.
Alien films.
Hey, that is your new Disney princess. Your queen, whatever.
I heard that, but that was so funny.
Either way, I think that's all we've got in the news. So it's time for some emotional damage with some Evangelion.
Card captors, a mystic adventure. Card captors, a quest for all time.
She is the one named Sailor Moon.
Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon.
It's time to do.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Yayo, yayo, yayo. Ho, ho, set sail for One Piece.
Yo, Shinji, get in the robot. Your dad loves you, get in the robot. The cockpit's too small for a grown-up. Kick some butt in your robot. Emotional damage.
That's Stephen Hain doing emotional damage and the Lost 4 Kids opening of Evangelion by Eagle 8 Burger. I don't know if I actually have to say that every time, but now it's tradition.
Yes, it is. Until we go to a new season, a new series.
Then I'll have to have something else there.
Yes.
Otherwise, all the other intros belong to their respective owners.
Yes.
Which actually don't know what that means about the 4 Kids opening to One Piece.
Yes.
But anyway, Neon Genesis Evangelion, A Man's Battle, aka Introjection.
Introduction.
Directed by Masayuki. No first name. Just Masayuki.
Yes.
Written by Hideaki Anno and Akio Satsukawa.
This is definitely a.
This is not the Hideaki Anno episode.
It's close.
But his fandom will definitely shows through in this one. In this episode, Shinji, furious at his father for the orders given in the previous battle, resigns from Nerve. But as Angel lays waste to the Geofront and the other Evangelions, he begins to reconsider his hasty decision.
I like how you say it, Nerve.
I have to say it like Masato does in the Netflix dub, because it's Nerve. It's not Nerve, it's Nerve.
Nerve.
It's like Nerve, and I can't say it the way she does it, so I always say Nerve.
It's almost like a cat saying it.
Nerve! Nerve!
We got to make sure of that. Yes.
getting into the cast, we actually have a new cast member.
Yes.
In this episode, because they recast Toji in the original ADV dub. These two episodes, despite the fact he barely talks in this.
Yes.
But Toji Suzuhara is voiced in this episode, and technically the next episode, by Michael O'Connor in the ADV original dub. You wouldn't notice this because I think you're watching the director's cut.
Well, the director's cut are like,
Or the
it's the last 4 episodes are director's cut.
right, but I mean the ADV redid the dub for that
That's
version.
right. That's what they did.
So
I never
they're
noticed it.
Yeah. So there's that. Angel appearance in this one. We've got Zeruel. His design appears to be a direct reference to the monster Zaton from the series finale of the original Ultraman. And boy, can you tell if you've ever seen it. It's like not even subtle. But that being said, due to the way that Zeruel's arms are segmented into smaller sections, along with their appearance in general, they are often likened to toilet paper by fans.
I'm not surprised.
The black and white color pattern on Zeruel's front vaguely resembles a human face, seen from the left, with its core as the eye. Zeruel, also called Serviel, is in Jewish mysticism, is the angel set over strength and has been sent by God to help David slay Goliath. The name Zeruel literally means arm of God, which is probably not a coincidence, all things considered.
Thunk.
The version of Fly Me to the Moon in this one is the trio of Masato and I know I said Anya. That is not her name.
Not Anya. Not Anya. That's next.
Asuka and Ayanami.
Yes.
Right. They're singing this version set to the normal orchestra. Now I'm just imagining Anya running around Evangelion in a giant peanut Evangelion. You don't even remember why peanuts are a thing, do you?
Hold on. We're talking about
In Spy Family.
Oh, no.
That's the only Anya I know.
Anya from
Spy Family.
No. A movie we discussed earlier in this film.
There was not an Anya in Transformers.
No. We mentioned a movie that the next Rewind movie.
Oh, Anya-Stasia? Is that what you're saying?
Anya-Stasia. Yeah, because her name is Anya.
I forgot her regular name throughout most of the film is Anya.
Yeah, it's Anya.
Either way. What are your thoughts on this episode?
This is, oh my gosh. It's, I can't remember. Do they have to cut him out of the...
They eventually have to cut him out.
Yeah, they eventually cut him out of the plug. But
that's not till after the next episode.
That is true. That is true.
Because this is the one where he gets... He goes berserk at the very end.
Yes. This episode it's very unique. It's where Shinji be like, he's like, oh my gosh, this tragic thing has happened. I hate my father for this. I'm not gonna get out of it. I still have enough power in this thing to destroy everything. And they flood him with ACL and be like, they get him out, be like, oh, because you did these terrible things, we're gonna kick you out of Nerve, and be like, he goes on,
you can't kick me out, I quit.
Yeah, I quit. He runs off and be like, he's dead serious about it.
He's running away.
Run away. Like usual. It's Shinji. Except he's got more determination. It's not, oh, no one cares about me.
He's not like he was in, what was that, episode 4?
Yeah. I mustn't run away. No, I'm running away because I hate my father's guts.
I'm running away because my father murdered... Well, that doesn't come up till next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So this episode is very good because you get this very emotional range from Shinji, because you get this little kid, this young boy who's been so emotionally damaged to, like, you have throughout the course of the season, you have Shinji who is grown up. He's like, yeah, he likes getting praised like anybody does. I mean, like, he loves getting praise from his father and everybody. He's still a young man. He doesn't know, like, he's still wrestling with his emotions. But then you have this Shinji who, after this incident, is like, I'm done. I'm serious about this. I'm done. And then you get the angel attack. You get the angel attack, and he runs into, what's his name? Not Kinsuke. Kyoji. He runs into Kyoji in the battle. He kind of just gives him, be like, do what you're gonna do. And he sees Unit 2 get decimated, and that was just like, oh,
literally, it's actually cut into tenths.
arms and head.
Just saying.
Yeah.
40%, 10, 20. That's 10 pieces.
It's 10 pieces.
That's what decimate means. It's cut into tenths.
Cut into tenths. That's true. So, be like, there comes a really interesting point where it says that, be like, throughout the course of the show, that the Ava pilots are connected to the Avas through their nervous system. So they feel,
which means they feel all of that.
They feel all of that. So you had Asuka had her arm sheared off, and so she feels that. So they cut the connection for her head doesn't come off. And
I actually do wonder if she had, pardon the phrase, lost her head, which is Asuka in general, would that have actually killed her?
I don't know, because
while she still was connected.
Yeah, there's a possibility. Oh, they've blown Ray's arm off before, and they did it in this episode before.
Right, but I mean, you can easily come back if your arm gets sheared off.
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy about it. You're going to be in bad trouble. So
yes,
that kind of makes sense. But if your head gets cut off, you're gone. Yes. So I do wonder the way this is set up. Mm-hmm. If her nerves were still connected into the Evangelion and synced, and the head gets cut off, can she survive that, or does that cause like some other thing? I don't know.
Yeah, there's different things that does take part. Be like, definitely in the rebuild films where they kind of tweak that. It's just like, oh, if your Ava is injured, you get injured. Where in the show it's not. You just get emotional damage or neurological damage. But it's interesting because they don't know really what to do with it. But and then you have be like Shinji. Finally, he kind of mans up. Be like, are you gonna do the right thing? You're gonna run away. His dilemma: does he run or do the right thing? And he doesn't do the right thing. And we get berserk mode again, and we get num angel.
I mean, that moment that when he takes the other angel's arm off,
yes,
and attaches it to the Ava, and it turns into a giant human hand. Gee, that's not foreboding in the slightest.
No. And then we get with what's the scientist's name? What's her name?
Not Masato.
Ritsuko. Yeah, Ritsuko starts explaining things to Masato. And it's like, oh, this and this, and be like, oh, the Ava is just simple, like it's an armor, it's a shell, it's to keep the Ava bound. Mm-hmm. And then you have all these little things short to unwind here and there. It's just like, oh crap, this is what's really happening. Oh, okay. Something about a third impact, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know yet. Be like, if you've seen the show, you know exactly what's going to happen. But keep all your quietness down.
I like how, I think this is more in the next one. Everyone's going about, well, I don't know why all this is happening. What's Gendo thinking? And Gendo's going, all according to plan. Because I don't care about any of you people. Mm-hmm. Smithers, release the hounds.
The word you can't use on family-friendly shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Jerk. Jerk is the nicest word we can use. Or the meanest word we are allowed to use.
Oh my gosh. And it's like Shinji gets back in the Ava and be like, he's about to get taken out. And the Ava goes, not today. And goes berserk and eats the angel. Nom, 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 nom. Literally.
Yeah.
And you just get this like.
Nom, 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 nom.
Angel. But yeah, that's the episode. It's literally this, and we get this revelation what's going on behind the scenes, which you kind of know already. It's like, oh yeah, because the Avas aren't really robots. They're some kind of being that they created from Adam, I believe. Yes, and yeah, and it's got a human soul in it. I wonder who. We'll get that in the next episode. So, episode 20.
Episode 20 of The Shape of Hearts and Humans, aka Weaving a Story 2 Oral Stage. Directed by Masuhiko Otsuka and written solely by Hideaki Anno. And boy, does he go full Anno in this one.
Yes, he does.
With his physical form absorbed by Ava Unit 1, Shinji drifts through an introspective state, again contemplating his mission and role as a pilot. Meanwhile, Ritsuko and Nerve desperately attempt to recover him. We have a new cast member in this one as well. Yui Ikari. Shinji's mother.
Yeah.
Played in the Japanese version by Megumi Hayashibara. Kim Sevier in the ADV dub. And it is unknown who is voicing her in the Netflix dub.
Come on, Netflix.
Come on, Netflix. You are hurting this woman's career, whoever she is. Angel appearance. None.
It just recaps.
It's just the recaps from the last one. Like, technically you see a couple seconds of lost his name. Zeruel at the beginning while Shinji's eating it. Or Unit 1 is eating it.
Yeah, Unit 1. Eat it one? Unit 1
is eating him.
Yeah. No, Angel.
But that's the closest we get.
Yes.
And the Fly Me to the Moon in this one is as a B4, and it's instrumental that's led by the piano. Wow, this has got some weird end of 2001 A Space Odyssey vibes.
Just a little bit.
And I want to thank you for warning me.
You're welcome.
Actually, this time about don't you want to become one with me? Don't you want to become one with me?
Oh my gosh.
This whole sequence with Shinji, I'm going, what is, I get what's going on.
Yes.
I understand the symbolism.
Yes.
What is going on? You know, that feels like I understand what's going on, but I don't know what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's like, okay, so he's obviously talking to the Ava, which,
Or is the Ava talking to him?
hang on. Let's go ahead and cut this tear this Band-Aid off.
Yes.
It's painfully obvious the Evangelions are captured angels or are come from angel material that the humans have somehow messed with and contain the souls of people who are obviously connected. Unit 1 is obviously Shinji's mother.
Unit 2?
Unit 2, as we don't know yet, though more than likely, I bet it's Atsuka's mother. Unit
1.
0, on the other hand, I'm assuming it might also be Yui.
Yeah.
Because apparently Gendo wanted to, if he had a daughter, wanted to name her Rei.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. A little weird. Just
You
a
know,
little.
You know, right before we started going through Evangelion, I showed with you Evangelion Abridged.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I did not get half the jokes.
No,
in
you
that,
didn't. I was like, oh,
which has become painfully obvious. So I've been cloning Rei for centuries, or however long.
Yeah.
And we won't go into the other line that he said he did with his dead wife.
Oh, no.
But,
oh, my gosh.
Anyway, Gendo, you sick bastard. I will take the word because he is a very sick. I'll say he's a sick puppy.
Yeah.
To use your terminology.
Yeah, sick mother puppy.
Sick mother puppy. I don't know if I'm going to keep that in there, actually.
Just keep that. Keep that.
I hope my parents aren't watching.
You're welcome.
But
Anyways, yeah, this episode is a lot of introspective,
mind warping stuff.
Oh, just wait until a couple episodes later, bud.
Oh, dude, I've already seen the
Oscar episode.
Let me put it this way: Netflix has
A warning?
no. Let me talk. Thumbnails in front of each episode.
Okay.
And the last one does have a ton of rays in it.
Yes.
I have seen because of certain other clips that exposed me to Evangelion before I knew I was looking at.
Yes.
I'm aware that there's a bit of a physical altercation between Shinji and Rei at some point. Atsuka at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's television show or movie.
It's the latter.
Movie?
Latter.
That makes sense, actually, because it's a lot more brutal than I think they could get away with on TV.
Yeah.
Though, didn't we have an episode recently where someone choked out somebody?
That was Ava Unit 1.
It was choking out the monster, wasn't it?
No, it was taking out the other Ava unit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't count as being bad because that's two robots doing it.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why Samurai Jack could be so bloody, because they weren't cutting up humans, they were cutting up robots.
Exactly.
Somehow that's better.
Yeah. Because like you have this episode where it's like Shinji is interacting with the Ava, aka his mother.
Painfully obviously.
And it's it's like we have this information and be like, oh, Gendo killed his, oh, that can't be true, blah, 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 blah. Be like, you'd never know with Gendo, the sick puppy.
I just realized something from earlier, but we're going to move on.
Okay. Okay.
Going to move on.
Yeah, so this episode is more. I guess it's trying to figure. People are trying to figure out Shinji.
So
like Shinji wants to run, but he knows he can't.
Here's
Okay,
the thing.
what's the thing?
A couple episodes ago, we had the one where he was dealing with the one with the Derek C, that the shadow angel.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
had that scene in
That
there where he
scene's
was
in it.
talking to that angel. Mm-hmm. That, I think, was, I thought the artsiest I thought it was going to get.
Oh, no.
Until this episode. And I'm watching it and going, okay, this is the kind of pretentious bull honky I was really expecting from this show.
Oh, just wait.
Oh, good night. Because it's painfully obvious when you're watching this. While the angel is showing, the Ava is showing Shinji the women in his life and using that to kind of get into his head to make it join with it. I'm still sitting there going, that's your mother. Yeah, Shinji, you are almost as bad as your father. Not that he knows it yet.
No,
but
he doesn't.
So I'm going there. It's like, I get that you're wanting Shinji to fully bond with you because I'm guessing Shinji fills a hole in the Ava's soul or something.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. But I'm still watching going,
Yeah,
I
it's
get
messed
it.
up.
I don't get it. I get it. I don't get it. I get it. I don't get it. Just, and now I'm beginning to worry if I'm not beginning to worry. I kind of already know that "Fly Me to the Moon" as the series finale theme song, as the ending theme. There's that was not just chosen randomly.
No, listen.
That's there. Though the moon is going to be a thing that's going to come up. I just know because she got Rey spinning upside down in that closing in front of the moon, and I'm going, and it's been painfully obvious. There's a connection between Rey and the moon, And then Atsuka's still being a jerk. And you know, I'm just going to be thankful for the fourth children, whatever his name is. What is his name?
Toji.
I'm thankful that he is in the hospital right now because he didn't have to put up with any of this nonsense.
Without a leg. He doesn't have a leg.
Yes, but he also does not have to put up with any of the nonsense Shinji's having to put up with. He's still having a crappy day, but a relatively normal one.
Yeah, at least class rep came and said
at
hi.
least he has his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who hasn't quite admitted their boyfriend girlfriend yet.
No. Yeah, this is a really weird episode, and like they're trying to use the experiment, trying to pull his soul back. It's not working, and who helps him? Masato.
Yes, and
Masato pulls him back into reality.
And well, I will say I do like that scene where they finally get the plug open, the entry plug open.
Yeah.
His plug suit he somehow manifested because he wasn't wearing the plug suit when he went into it in the last episode. But somehow they even say this, that he manifested his plug suit somehow in the LCL fluid. And she's crying over this because it's the closest thing she has to a body at this moment for Shinji.
Yeah.
Because honestly, she's been more of a mother to him, been more family to him than anybody else in this show has been.
Yeah.
For one reason or another.
Sick puppy Gendo.
Yes. And then Shinji apparently decides he wants to live and just falls out like
without apparel on.
No. Well, of course he doesn't have a on. She's holding his plug suit. Don't want to know where his school uniform went.
That's true.
But he just plops out there. And for some reason, there was a weird sound effect with it, at least in my version.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
all I heard was a splash.
Like,
it was a splash.
And the camera goes, it's like, oh, look, buck naked Shinji. Fly me to the moon.
Oh, good night. Yeah.
And I don't mean the one in the sky.
Oh, my God. Oh, gosh.
We got mooned.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then, of course,
for life.
And then, of course, we get the end of this episode where Masato has a late night rendezvous.
Oh my gosh, yes.
With Goober Boy, whose name I just lost the name.
Goober Boy.
I forgot his name. I'm sorry. The quadruple agent in
the
this
quadruple
thing.
agent, yes.
Because he's working for everybody.
Yes.
And
Koji.
Yeah, not Toji. Ryoji.
Yeah.
Ryuji.
Kaji.
Kyoji?
Kyoji, yeah.
Kyoji.
Yeah, Kyoji.
And
something to do with a pill.
And something to do with a pill. And
you're welcome.
They saved some budget in the animation on this scene.
Just a little.
Because they didn't even put bubbles in the beer.
No, they didn't.
Because if they did that, it's like, well, this would still feel like a scene that's alive and not just, why do I have to listen to them doing this and stare at a glass of beer that's obviously not going to get drank?
Again, you're welcome.
Evangelion, you sick puppy. Hideaki Anno, you sick puppy.
Oh, it gets worse later on.
I can tell you're depressed while making this.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. That was episode 20.
There's what? 6 episodes left?
Roughly, maybe.
And then the end of Evangelion?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have some thoughts when we get to end of Evangelion because I am going to get it all out in that episode. I'll tell you right now.
6 episodes left.
Yeah, 6 episodes. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 episodes.
6.
But I'm just going to tell you right now, this is going off the deep end, and I am now really looking forward to the more simple, wholesome fun of Spy Family.
I told you this was a messed up series.
I knew it was a messed up series before we got started.
Mm-hmm.
I am now understanding how messed up it is. Because I'm like,
just wait till the movie.
Oh, barnacles.
A lot of orange juice.
It is see, here's the thing. When I said that line originally,
Yes.
I was literally thinking, okay, it's Evangelion is obviously an allegory for growing up, and this was the loss of innocence, we'll say.
Yes.
To use a nice word for it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
When this show started, when we were watching, I thought, okay, I'm probably a little off. This is more going to be about, being a man, being brave, not running away from your troubles. There's going to be some other stuff coming up there, sure, but that's maybe. And the more closer and closer we get to the end, my original thought is seeming more and more accurate about what that is in reality symbolically.
Yes.
On that note,
Yes.
next episode,
Yes.
I think, I could be wrong here, we might be getting some lore
Maybe.
with the birth of Nerve.
Nerf.
Nerve.
Nerf.
Nerf.
Nerf. Nerf. Nerf.
The Gendo and the Ava. I don't know. No, wait. Gendo is obviously the braid. Who would be Pinky?
Shinji.
What is his assistant's name?
Oh, I can't remember. Oh, crap. I don't remember. Either or.
I'm going to have to make that parody. But yeah, we got the birth of Nerve and then Staying Human as our next 2 episodes, 21 and 22. 6 episodes left. Hey, 7 total episodes of emotional damage.
And just wait until we do the rebuild films. Just saying.
Eventually.
Eventually, we'll get there.
I've already seen 2 of them, so I kind of know.
I've seen all 4 of them. They're funky.
But that being said, bear in mind what I said when I get around to watching, when we get to End of Evangelion. I'm not just watching End of Evangelion. I'm watching the other half too. That's just a recap of the whole show.
Yeah.
Why?
Good animation.
Because A, good animation, and B, I will probably want a recap of exactly all the nonsense that I just watched.
Yes. So,
Because they're both on Netflix.
that's true. So I remember, I don't know if you sent me this or someone, I saw it somewhere, but someone sent me this like a Dragon Ball Z abridged poop spoof scene of a certain scene from the movie itself. And it was all about ice cream. And I was like, oh, dear Lord, no, don't do that.
Moving on.
Yes, moving
Join
right
us
along.
next
Oh my
week
gosh,
for
no.
the Super Mario Brothers
Yes,
movie, which will be a
yes.
far more fun time
yes.
than Evangelion's going to
And
be.
then we're going to go back
back into the
Evangelion.
emotion damage. Just,
Again, you're welcome.
Fly me to the frickin' moon. That is my
copy.
new curse word.
Fly me
when I need to say something, this has just beat to a bloody pulp Jiminy Crickets on a pogo stick, because now fly me to the frickin' moon. In the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And before we go insane, we'll catch you on the next frame.
You can follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day. His Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. His Twitter at Jacob Heron.
And his letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen.
His Facebook page, Drew's Photo Bin, to see his photography. His letterboxd page at GGeorge759. His Twitter at GGeorge759. And Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast. On Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming.
On YouTube at Cellcast.
On Twitter at cast_cell. The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us, and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
To the moon, Megatron. But Shinji, nerve.
No. Point. Okay, that's the end of the episode.
Yes.
So y'all didn't hear us when we had the sound down while the thing was going, but I realized I need to re-record our intro to the episode really quick.
Okay.
I'm only going to go through to the end of the hello and welcome. I won't go into joining me today. I'm just going to re-record that part of it.